Marissa slammed her palms on my parents' dining table so hard the glasses rattled. "So your family thinks my kids are nobodies?" she spat. And just like that, Easter died. "My name is Elena Voss, 28, I live in Portland, and I work as a forensic accounting analyst. My job is to find the lies people bury under numbers. Unfortunately, sometimes the lies walk into your family instead." My brother, Liam, 34, had been with his fiancée Marissa for 2 years. She had 2 children, Caleb, 9, and Nora, 7, from a previous marriage. We were never close, but never hostile either. Just polite strangers orbiting around Liam. My parents, Martin and Joe, raised us on tight budgets, long workdays, and predictable sacrifices. Our grandparents had nothing but grit. Every dollar saved came from labor, not privilege. So yes, we protect our inheritance. Not because we're greedy, but because it was carved out of decades of exhaustion. And we'd always agreed, Voss family assets stay with Voss biological descendants. Liam supported that. He asked for the prenup. He said Marissa understood. He was wrong. It happened when we sat down for Easter dinner, without Marissa's kids, who were with their father. A detail she took advantage of. Before my mother could even pass the rolls, Marissa turned to Liam with a tight, angry smile. "Tell them," she ordered. Liam looked like he wished he could crawl under the table. "Elena," she said to me, "your brother told me your family expects a prenup, and that my kids will never receive anything from your estate. Is that correct?" The room tensed. Even the candles seemed to flicker uneasily. I answered plainly. "Yes. It's correct." Her nostrils flared. "You're excluding my children from their own future family." "They aren't Liam's biological children," I said calmly. "They're his stepchildren. And he can support them from his own money. But our family assets stay with bloodline." "That's disgusting," she hissed. "You're treating my children like strangers." I leaned back, keeping my voice steady. "Let me ask you this. Will my future children inherit anything from your parents? Or from your ex-husband's parents?" Her mouth tightened. "No, of course not." "Exactly." I met her gaze evenly. "So why would your children inherit from us?" She didn't want logic. She wanted access. Marissa scoffed. "Because when I marry Liam, we become family. That means my kids deserve the same rights." "We have cousins who are family," I said. "They don't get our inheritance either." Her face darkened. "So you're greedy. Selfish. Heartless." That word, greedy, lit something hot and ancient inside my chest. My grandfather worked the docks with cracked hands. My father repaired HVAC units with a back that eventually gave out. My mother clipped coupons so we could afford school trips. We weren't born into comfort. We built it. So no, greedy wasn't going to fly. "Marissa," I said quietly, but firmly, "deal with it. You are free to build wealth for your own children. But our family's legacy will not be split with kids who aren't our bloodline. They are not our responsibility. They are not a financial burden we will carry." The room fell silent. Marissa pushed her chair back with a screech. "You're cruel," she said, voice shaking. "Cruel to children." I felt my pulse steady into something cold and unwavering. "No," I replied. "We're realistic. You don't get to rewrite the rules of a family you just entered." Her eyes burned. "You're all unbelievable. And you're entitled," I said, finally letting the truth slip out. "This isn't about love. This is about money." Liam looked crushed. My mother looked heartbroken. My father looked like he'd seen this coming for months. Marissa grabbed her purse, turned on her heel, and stomped out the front door, slamming it so hard the walls shook. And just like that, Easter ended. Not with prayer, not with gratitude, but with a woman declaring war over something she was never owed. I didn't regret what I said. Not then. Not now. What I didn't realize was this: that explosion was only the beginning. The real storm was still building. The morning after Easter felt like waking up after a wildfire. The smoke was gone, but the smell of destruction was still everywhere. I sat at my kitchen table in Portland, staring at my cold coffee, replaying the scene from last night, the slammed door, the shaking glasses, the way Liam wouldn't look at me as Marissa stormed out. For a moment, I wondered if I should have softened my words. But then I remembered her voice. So your family thinks my kids are nobodies? No. I didn't owe softness to someone twisting the truth. My phone buzzed. Liam. I exhaled slowly and picked up. He didn't say hello. Elena, what happened last night can't happen again. I leaned back in my chair. So what exactly do you want me to apologize for? Telling Marissa the truth? Or telling her what you didn't have the courage to? He was silent for a long time. Finally, he whispered, she thinks you hate her kids. That's ridiculous, I said. I barely know them. This isn't personal. This is about boundaries. She feels like you're treating them like outsiders. Because they are outsiders, Liam. They aren't boss bloodline. They aren't inheriting our family's money. You knew this. He sighed. The defeated kind. The kind that tells you someone has been arguing all night. She said you were cruel, he murmured. I closed my eyes. Did you tell her why the prenup matters? Why protecting mom and dad's assets matters? I tried, he said. But she said it's just proof that you all don't consider her or the kids real family. There it was. The real word. Entitlement disguised as emotion. A slow realization crept over me. This wasn't about love. Not for her. This was about access. Stability. Security she wanted Liam to fund without questioning. Liam, I said softly, has she been pressuring you about the prenup? He didn't answer. I could hear it in the trembling breath he took. She asked me last week to put her kids in my will, he finally said, voice barely above a whisper. My blood ran cold. She what? She said, they deserve protection. She said if we're going to be a real family, I should be planning for their future too. And you? I asked. What did you say? I told her I needed to think about it. I rubbed my forehead. This wasn't normal. It wasn't love. It wasn't blending a family. It was strategy. She's using guilt, I said. Guilt as leverage. Guilt as currency. Elena, please, he said, sounding exhausted. I love her. I love the kids. But I don't want to lose our family over this. You won't, I said. But you will lose everything Grandpa built if you let someone shame you out of a prenup. He didn't protest. Which scared me. Because silence meant he knew I was right. At work, I couldn't focus. Every number blurred into another. Every spreadsheet felt heavier. By noon, I closed my laptop and stared out the window at the rainy Portland streets. Marissa hadn't just crossed a line last night, she had erased it. And now Liam was stuck in the fallout. When I got home, a text waited for me. From Marissa. We need to clear the air. Meet me tomorrow at 3. Cafe Alder. Don't bring your parents. I stared at the message for a long time. She didn't want peace. She wanted an audience she thought she could corner. Still. I agreed. Not for her, but for Liam, who was drowning in a battle he didn't know how to fight. The next day, Cafe Alder smelled like warm bread and citrus. People typed on laptops. A couple flirted by the window. It was a normal Portland afternoon, until Marissa walked in like a storm wrapped in a coat. She sat across from me without saying hello. You made me look like a gold digger in front of your entire family, she hissed. I kept my voice even. I didn't make you look like anything. You did that yourself. Her eyes narrowed. She wasn't used to being told no. You don't get it, she said. I've raised 2 kids alone. I've lived check to check. I finally found someone stable, and you're all trying to strip that security from me. This isn't about security, I said. This is about ownership. Her jaw tightened. Your family thinks I'm beneath you. No, I said calmly. We think our boundaries matter. She leaned forward, whisper sharp. You think I'm manipulating Liam? I think you're pressuring him, I replied. And I think you expected him to fold. Her eyes flickered. And in that flicker, I saw it, not love. Not panic. Strategy. She wasn't fighting for family, she was fighting for access. You can hate me, I said quietly. But the prenup is happening. The inheritance rules are final. And your children will not be written into something that isn't theirs. Her stare turned icy. You're going to regret this, Elena. I met her eyes without blinking. No. I'm protecting my family. And deep down, you know that's exactly what scares you. She stood abruptly and walked out. And as the door closed behind her, I realized, the real fight hadn't even started yet. The days after that cafe meeting felt like stepping into a hallway where every door hid a quiet threat. Marissa went silent, too silent. And silence, in my experience, is never peace. Silence is planning. Liam didn't mention her much. My parents didn't either. But the tension hung between us like an unfinished sentence. By Thursday, Liam called again. Elena, she wants to talk to you. I exhaled sharply. About what now? She says she misunderstood your intentions. She wants to fix things. I couldn't help the small laugh that escaped me. Liam, she didn't misunderstand anything. She just didn't get the outcome she wanted. He didn't deny it. His voice broke a little. Just, please. Hear her out. I agreed, mostly because I could hear how tired he was. And because somewhere inside me, I hoped I was wrong about her. But I wasn't. We met at her apartment, neutral territory, or so she called it. The moment I walked in, I knew it was an ambush dressed as a conversation. Her living room was too clean. Her posture was too stiff. Her smile, too forced. She started with something gentle. Fake gentle. Elena. I want us to be a family. I want your parents to love my kids the way they'll love the children Liam and I have someday. My jaw tightened. There it was. The word entitlement wearing a soft sweater. Marissa, I said carefully, wanting connection is fine. Expecting inheritance is not. Her smile twitched. Your family's money could change my kids' lives, she said. You don't understand what it's like having nothing. That one struck me hard. You think we came from money? I said. We clawed our way out of poverty. We didn't get handouts. We built everything from scratch. She straightened, eyes sharpening. Which is why, she said, you should understand why I want security. Security isn't the same as ownership, I replied. She scoffed. You're impossible. No, I said quietly. I'm immovable. She shifted tactics instantly, something only manipulators do with ease. Fine, she said. Then tell me exactly what the inheritance is. What assets? What trusts? What accounts? A chill ran through me. You don't get access to that information, I said slowly. Why would you even ask that? She shrugged one shoulder. I deserve to know what my future children will be receiving. That was the moment everything snapped into focus. She didn't want to understand. She wanted numbers. She wanted leverage. She wanted to quantify what she was being denied. And she wanted me to hand it to her. I stood. All calm. All ice. Marissa, I said, I'm going to tell you something once. And you're going to hear it. She crossed her arms. Go ahead. You don't get to interrogate me about family assets. You don't get to demand entry into something you didn't build. You don't get to weaponize your struggles to claim ownership of our legacy. Her expression wavered, then hardened again. And you think you're the gatekeeper of it all? She sneered. I leaned in slightly, steady, controlled. No. I'm the only one who's not afraid of telling you the truth. Her mouth opened, ready to spit something cruel, but I continued. You have asked my brother to change his will. You have pushed him to remove parts of the prenup. You have tried to guilt him about kids who aren't even his. That isn't love. That's strategy. Her face flushed dark red. You think I'm using him, she whispered. I know you are. Silence. Sharp. Violent in its stillness. You're jealous, she hissed. You can't stand that he's choosing us. No, I said. I can't stand watching you rewrite the rules of a family you barely know. She stood abruptly. You and your parents, you're all obsessed with control. We're obsessed with boundaries, I corrected. Boundaries you keep trying to bulldoze. Her voice trembled, not with fear, but rage. You're going to ruin my relationship. No, I said softly. Your intentions are. I started walking toward the door, but paused. And for the record, I added, your children are innocent. They deserve stability. They deserve love. But they will not inherit from us. And that truth, I held her gaze, is non-negotiable. Her eyes burned. You're going to regret this, Elena. I opened the door. I'd regret staying silent. And I left, not realizing she had already set her next move in motion. The one that would drag Liam into the line of fire. The one that would force him to choose. The one that would burn the last bridge between us if he wasn't careful. The real battle was about to begin. Marissa didn't come after me that night. She didn't call. She didn't text. Which meant only one thing, she wasn't done. She was regrouping. And by Saturday morning, the hit landed. Liam showed up at my apartment unannounced, hair messy, eyes red, shoulders slumped like a man carrying a weight he never asked to hold. Elena, we need to talk, he said. I stepped aside. Come in. He walked in stiffly, like his spine was made of guilt instead of bone. He didn't sit. He didn't breathe. Finally, he handed me a document. My stomach tightened as I unfolded it. It was a new version of the prenup. One Marissa had clearly rewritten. One Liam had clearly been pressured into considering. And in bold text at the bottom, a clause requesting that, upon marriage, a percentage of Liam's future acquired assets be automatically allocated into a trust for Marissa's children. I looked up slowly. Liam, I whispered, please tell me you didn't sign this. His throat bobbed. No. Not yet. My pulse steadied into something cold and sharp. Why would you even let her put this in front of you? She said, his voice cracked. She said I was heartless if I didn't protect her kids. She weaponized guilt, I said quietly. He looked away. She said you were trying to poison me against her. She said you hate her. She said you want to sabotage our relationship. And you believe that? I asked. He closed his eyes. No. But she's making everything impossible. I exhaled, grounding myself. Liam. Look at me. He did. You are not responsible for raising children financially that aren't yours, I said. You can love them, support them emotionally, be present, but you do not owe them an inheritance. Tears gathered in his eyes. I know. But she keeps saying that if I care about her, I should care about their future. She said, a real man wouldn't draw the line. A surge of anger rose in me, protective, fierce, sister-strong. That's manipulation, I said. Not love. Not partnership. Not respect. He sank onto my couch, burying his face in his hands. What do I do, Elena? I sat beside him. You stop apologizing for boundaries. And you stop letting her rewrite your life. He looked broken when he whispered, she said she'll call off the engagement if I don't change the prenup. That told me everything I needed to know. That means she's not marrying you, I said softly. She's marrying what she hopes to get out of you. He sucked in a trembling breath. Say it, he said. I need to hear it. I didn't hesitate. She is using you. The words landed like a truth he'd been avoiding for months. He left my apartment quieter than he arrived. I didn't know what he would choose. I didn't sleep that night. But at sunrise, my phone buzzed. A message from Liam. I ended it. Thank you. My breath caught. Relief that he saw it. Relief that he chose himself. But hours later, he came to my parents' house for one last confrontation, because Marissa wasn't accepting no. I was there. My parents stood behind us. And Marissa stood on the porch, shaking with fury. You're really choosing them over us? She shouted at Liam. I'm choosing clarity, he said quietly. And choosing not to be manipulated anymore. Her eyes glossed with rage. You're abandoning my kids. No, he said. I'm refusing to lie to them about what I can promise. I love them. But I won't build a future on pressure and threats. She looked at me then, violent, blaming, desperate. This is your fault. I stepped forward, steady as stone. No. This is the moment your intentions stopped hiding behind guilt. She shook her head, tears streaming. You can't do this to me. Liam's voice broke. I already did. He closed the door gently. And on the other side, Marissa's sobs faded down the walkway and vanished into the Portland rain. The house was unbelievably quiet. My mother touched Liam's shoulder. My father nodded once, proud. And I stood there, breathing out a weight I'd been holding for weeks. Liam looked at me. Was I blind? He asked. No, I said softly. You were hopeful. Hope isn't blindness. But seeing the truth, that's courage. He pulled me into a hug. Strong. Grateful. Finally free. Later that night, as I watched the rain slide down my window, I felt something settle in me, a rare kind of peace. Not because the conflict ended. But because the truth won. Some storms don't destroy you. Some storms reveal who was willing to watch you drown. This one revealed everything. And when it was over, we walked out cleaner than we went in.